Hey everyone, it's CL, and in today's video I have a very quick small haul, but it's centered around self-help books. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all what I got last weekend. So when I went into Barnes & Noble, I did have an idea of what I wanted to get, but of course when you first walk into the doors, they have all their tables with the displays, you know, with their pre-selected books of what they would think you would like. And I just so happened to come across a section that had a mixture of like self-help books and other books. And there was one that caught my eye. And this is a good example of how covers can draw your eye to the book. And that is this one here. It's bright yellow and it is called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. But immediately I was not planning on picking this up, but the bright yellow in comparison with the other books on the table drew my eye to read the cover. So I ended up reading the cover, and to tell you the truth, when they say like, oh, this book spoke to me, this book title spoke to me in the sense, You Are a Badass. I'm like, am I? Is there an inner badass in this body right here? Because if so, I'm ready for it to come out. And then it says how to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. And that's something that I really do. I do doubt myself a lot. I do doubt my abilities a lot, you know? So just reading this cover, the title alone makes me want to buy it, because I did browse. With all books I buy, I do crack them open and read a few pages to see if it's like a book that I would like. I just don't strictly buy based off the book title, but I opened it up and it seemed like it had pretty good content, at least the pages that I was able to read in the store. So I decided to go ahead and give it a try. You know, if there's an inner badass in this body, let's bring it to the surface so I can live that awesome life. So the next book I have, and I only have 3 books here, so the next book that I have, this is a book that I purposely went to Barnes & Noble to seek. Not this particular book, but this type of self-help book. So in a previous video, and if you haven't seen it, I'll link it below, I talked about how my daughter has like really bad anxiety. She has social anxiety and she has selective mutism, and then I've been taking her to a therapist, and just watching her blossom out of her anxiety. Does she still have anxiety? Yes, she does. But just watching how much she has blossomed with like being able to get help and direction of how to view things, steps, like just having direction alone has made such a big difference in her life and my life. And just watching her blossom made me like think again, like I know that I have really bad anxiety, but I always thought of it as something that I was capable of coping with. But watching her grow and seeing how much she has grown with her therapy, I've decided, you know what, maybe I could grow a little, maybe I could grow more, or maybe I could have an easier time with things if I got help myself. And in that video I did say that we can't afford for both of us to get therapy, and the most important person is her. So I decided to go ahead and seek out a book. And the book that I decided to go with, and there was many that I sat there on the floor and just kind of flipped through and making my best decision, I decided to go with this book here, Coping with Anxiety, 10 Simple Ways to Relieve Anxiety, Fear, and Worry. And you see how this light bright blue color, I honestly think that they chose this cover on purpose, because isn't this one of like the relaxing colors, the soothing colors, the color that they have in hospitals because it relieves stress or something like that. So I'm pretty sure that's why they chose blue for their book, because when I was flipping through those other anxiety books and was in that section in general, a lot of the covers were like blue or that lighter color, you know? So yeah, I decided to go with this book. Now, the title does say coping with anxiety, and in a sense I think I'm really good at coping with it, but then I start to think, am I coping with it or am I putting up with it? So, but it does say in the title, simple ways to relieve anxiety, fear, and worry. So if there is some tips they can give me to help relieve the stress of anxiety off my shoulders, you know what, if in this book here, I will go ahead and give it a read to see if there's anything eye-opening. And last but not least, I was not planning on picking up this book. This is another one where the book cover caught my eye, The title definitely caught my eye, and it is this here, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The title totally made me pick it up because I was like, what? Another book title that speaks to me. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you not care about things? I care about everything. I think about everything. I worry about everything. So this book title called out to my soul. My soul was like, get that book. I don't care what other books are around here, get this book. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up, and I actually started reading it, and I have to say, I really, really love it. Not only is it a great book, it's also really funny. Like, it tells you like the most, well, it's not obvious. Okay, well, how do I describe it? So say if you're a person, right, that is just keeps hitting walls, like you're just kind of running into a wall, not necessarily making the wrong choices, but not making the right choices, I guess. Like focusing too much on something that shouldn't really matter. And this book here, if I could describe what it's like to read it, it's like you have a friend with you, and then your friend grabs you by the shoulders and just shakes you and says, stop it. That's what this book feels like, that it's telling you things and relating stories and scenarios to kind of snap you out of it, to help you snap out of it. Like, why are you focusing so much on this? Does it really matter? And that is like so underwhelming. Like how I'm describing it is very underwhelming. I do highly recommend this book. It is trending at a 5-star read for me, and really, really loving it. And it makes me kind of happy inside. Like the humor in it makes me kind of happy. The author is really funny at how he writes things, and it's just like refreshing, you know? So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I highly recommend. I hope to finish it this weekend. And you know what's funny? Since this is the last book, I do want to tell you a little something. So when I dropped my daughter off at her therapy session, there's like a waiting area for the parents, because this is a children's center. They specialize in children's mental health. They specialize in children. So all the parents are in the waiting area, and I was like, oh, I'll bring my book, because the session is like an hour long, so there's a lot of waiting. And I was like, I'll bring my book, because normally I read while I'm waiting. And I took off the book cover so it wasn't like so in your face. So I'm reading this book in this children's center, and I forgot that the title was on the spine. So right here in nice big gold letters, it has the word F-U-C-K on there, minus the U. But it wasn't a big deal because the people that were around me were adults. But I was just so relieved, because this is a children's center, that little kids weren't running around near me, because, you know, I know it's not really a big deal, but in a sense, I'm not their parent, so I don't want to, you know, offend a parent or a child. I mean, I don't know what sort of household they live in, you know, but I'm just glad that no little kids were around me, and before I realized, like, oh, I should tilt my book down, because this title is so in your face, you know. So nobody said anything. I don't think anybody noticed. All the kiddies were in their session, so I'm grateful that there were no tapping on the shoulder saying, miss, could you please put your book away? In my mind, I envisioned that scenario of what could have happened. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. Really, really like it. I'm looking forward to the other 2 books that I plan on reading. And to tell you the truth, I am someone that reads a lot of self-help books. Like, I really enjoy them, and I do get motivated and inspired by them. So that's why I do pick them up. Like, I'm always reading one, at least one, you know. So yeah, that is my haul. Pretty short haul. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.